Yeah, I'm live coming in. Monday, July 14th. A day that is another day, but July 14th, 1987, my mom was born. 1957. She had me July 16th, 1987. Been without her 7 years on it. But it is what it is. And, sometimes I look at the way things have shaped up over the last couple of years or whatever. You wouldn't have deserved this. So I'm glad that, some things transpired, unfortunately, the way it did. But it made me be busy all the time, stay occupied. The more I stayed occupied, the easier I was able to, recover in a sense. So I'm glad that those things did transpire on my end. Thank you for that. But life goes on. But thank you for being so great.
At its wastewater.
So this is my Hopewell update. They found out we had a power plant issue.
Water treatment plant that caused a power outage, which led to a large amount of sewage being released into the James River as well as a nearby creek over the weekend. CBS 6 uncovered this inspection report from the state's Department of Environmental Quality from late last year that found numerous maintenance issues at the plant. Old City Point Waterfront Park in the city of Hopewell. Dwayne Burnett comes here to relax and escape.
You hear that? Quietness.
But Burnett says,
that's what I like, quiet.
This Monday afternoon felt different.
Normally it's crowded.
And the water looked dirty.
Yep. Normally the water doesn't look like this.
Just before midnight on Friday, the city of Hopewell said its water renewal facility, which is where raw sewage and industrial stormwater are treated before being released back into the environment, experienced a power failure due to a suspected short in a wire. That power failure caused 1.38 million gallons of untreated sewage to be discharged into the James River and Gravelly Run Creek. To give you some perspective on how much raw sewage escaped, an Olympic-sized pool holds about 660,000 gallons of water. The release led health officials to warn people and pets not to swim or wade into the James River between Hopewell and Charles City County.
That's gross.
We asked the head of public works for the city of Hopewell, Mike Crocker Jr., if the plant experienced a complete loss of power, and he said no. The issue was localized to the screens that are the first line of defense inside the plant. We also asked if the plant has power redundancies, and he said yes, they have numerous emergency generators, but when a feed wire is compromised, the generators will not provide power to the affected system. A portable generator was brought in on Saturday to provide necessary power. We did find this inspection from late November of last year, conducted by the state regulator that issues the plant's permit to operate. An inspector from the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality found more than 30 pieces of equipment at the plant out of service or inoperable. These pictures show some of the broken equipment as well as vegetative growth. The inspector also found the facility does not have a preventative maintenance schedule or program.
After Richmond, no, not surprised. After what happened up in Richmond, not surprised.
In 2024, the plant reported 33 sanitary sewer overflows and unauthorized discharges to the DEQ. On January 21st of this year, DEQ issued a notice of violation to the City of Hopewell Water Renewal for 8 of those discharges, stating it had reason to believe the plant was in violation of the state water control law. The most recent one from December 2nd states the discharge was the result of power loss to the pump station. But Crocker says this past weekend's power outage was not the result of previous lack of maintenance, adding that Hopewell Water Renewal continues to make progress towards identifying and addressing long-standing maintenance concerns. Crocker said staff has made a concerted effort to outline maintenance needs and to schedule the work to be completed. The Virginia Department of Health tells me its recreational water advisory is still in effect for portions of the James River, starting here at the Old City Point Waterfront Park, as well as for the Gravelly Run Creek. In Hopewell, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.
People come to us and their teeth.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Talking about this water, that the sewage went in the water in Hopewell.
Oh shit! The suit. They gotta do something about that, man. They need that. Why is the governor not calling for a state of emergency, man? What's going on?
Yeah, it happened the other day.
They need to do
I
something.
tell you, we had all that rain, and then the water just got backed up.
That's why I don't. Like again. That's why I don't do no Democrat, Republican. I don't do no political party. This shit's all bullshit. All bullshit. Neither side don't give a fuck, bro. It's just like WWF. You rooting for Ultimate Warrior or you rooting for Hulk Hogan? But guess what? They both work for the same motherfucker. Like, why? That's a Republican state, right?
What, Virginia?
Yeah.
No, not really.
So it's a little bit of
got a
both.
Republican governor, but that Younger was the first Republican governor we had in since like 2009 or 8 or something.
Wow.
2009. But the legislature run by Democrats though.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean,
Both sides.
the mayor of Richmond is Democratic. The Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, and the Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, Winston Sears, who's running right now. They all they are what they call Republican, but the legislature is, I think Democrats control the House and Senate, but like by a couple, but
Gotcha.
but they've been winning a lot. They won more seats in the last election because, I mean, I said Virginia got an ever-changing population, actually. A lot of people moving here, a lot of new apartments being built, a lot of stuff going on. But rent is like $2,000. Matter of fact, people been there complaining about the election bill, $500. So they've been charged too much. This happened the other day, right where I was at, in the morning, not in the evening.
Tree limbs and trash litter the field that sits along Arch Road, the only remnants that could remind people of what took.
And I was on that street this morning because one of my people live on that house. I mean, on that street. But at 5 o'clock in the day, you couldn't get on that road; it flooded out.
place in this area this weekend. Chesterfield County Fire and EMS were called for a number of water rescues as flash flooding caused water from Pocashoe Creek to rise so high it covered the road several times over the last few days.
Creeks and rivers and everything in the area are just so saturated with water that they can't absorb the amount of water that's coming down. And in low-lying areas like this, we're having issues where water gets across the roadway.
A copious amount of rain coming down quickly created similar conditions at a number of other locations across the county. The county averaged an additional 50 calls per day for help.
The firefighters, they're running from call to call to call, and it just can be fatiguing at times. But, we have the ability to call in extra staff if that is needed, and we'll do so if the need arises.
And calling in extra is what they had to do as the rain continued to come down.
We actually upstaffed our swift water rescue capabilities so that we knew that we had adequate staff to cover multiple calls within Chesterfield County.
Chesterfield Fire EMS warns drivers of similar conditions that could be created as more rain is expected this week. The swollen creeks and backed up stormwater drains will cause ponding on roads, which can lead to dangerous driving conditions.
A lot of people don't realize that 6 inches of water can actually pick a car up and move it, especially if the water's moving.
A warning first responders hope people will listen to as crews across Central Virginia work to keep everyone safe in challenging weather conditions.
It's just crazy to think about how much force that just 6 inches of water has.
Experts urge people to learn what areas around them are prone to flooding and stay away from those areas. If you are driving and encounter water, you're going to want to turn around. And if you do get stuck, experts encourage you to get out of your car and quickly get to higher ground and then call 911. In Chesterfield.
I was over there. Matter of fact, I was over there this morning. No. They're going to. Oh yeah, I was on by that street this morning. I mean, it's right. It's like literally 5 minutes from house, maybe 3. I don't got to go up that hill, but there is a creek around there because we got a creek around here. And that's why I didn't move over there like years ago. Well, I wanted to, but they said if you wanted to move in that area, you had to get flood insurance and all that. So
Wicks.
That's one reason why I didn't move over there. Kind of glad they didn't because that creek does flood all the time.
I'm just seeing a lot of what I'm seeing is from this country. It's not really a country, but what I'm seeing from this place, this landmass, this corporation, it's a lot of it's a lot of what's his name? Exploitation, bro. It's a lot of exploitation. Dawson, what's going on? It's a lot of exploitation. It's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of lies. A lot of scapegoat. Everything. Everybody's the scapegoat. Whatever they feel like at the time, this their narrative is a scapegoat to what they're really not doing. It just be the government not wanting to do shit. Just like this infrastructure. Everything else is especially with Donald Trump. He make it so. I mean, at least these other motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker just making so many excuses. Oh, it's this. It's this. Well, it's this is Iran. It's this is illegals. What does any of this shit got to do with you building the infrastructure? Now, the fact that they are arguing these illegals, and a lot of these motherfuckers, all this funding and money is in a way fucking up the economy because that money could be spent for different shit and be spent actual American motherfuckers, right? But that shit ain't fucking up the economy like they're saying. Like, dude, like it's just everything's a scapegoat. Oh, China's a fucking problem. Oh, no, it's not. Y'all do not want to fucking invest the money. You put you in the 80s, y'all started that shit with Reagan under the Reaganomics, where you had these motherfucking investors and shit, and these motherfucking shareholders and these motherfuckers, these business motherfuckers. You had them investing in the financial structure and not the infrastructure. Not the, you know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You had them investing in real estate and all this other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? All this other shit. Instead of them.
Let me get that in a second. Because this is what I was trying to show you about these dumbass white boys around here. Now, years ago, they told these fools to stop swimming in the water with the damn geese.
Swimming in the water with the geese? Oh.
Yeah. They had to put a sign up at the park to tell them to stop swimming in the geese. Right. Now, I told you the sewage had a spill, right?
You said that's film?
I told you that Hopewell, which got that chemical plant, Honeywell down there, had an oil spill, right?
Oh,
No,
Honeywell.
sewage spill.
Okay.
And the river is still not safe for swimmers. Now, I want you to hear what they say. And I'm going to let you come back and talk about it. Listen to this bullshit.
If Hopewell is working on repairs at its wastewater treatment plant after an electrical outage caused about 1 million gallons of untreated sewage to enter waterways.
8 News reporter Mariah Jalad tells us what safety precautions residents should now take. Mariah, good evening.
Eric Deanna, good evening. The city of Hopewell says the sewage leak has been fully contained, but the Virginia Department of Health still says to avoid nearby water.
Just before midnight on Friday, July 11th, an electrical failure at the city's wastewater treatment plant caused an estimated 1 million gallons of untreated sewage to be discharged. The next day.
Now, let me tell you something about this. They didn't really even announce this until it was about to flood the next day, bro. I'm trying to tell you, this shit was bullshit. And this James River is a major river around here, bro. Like, that is the main river. That's why they call Richmond south of the James. That is a major river, bro. Okay? Just putting it out there. So this ain't no, they had to give them fools an advisory. First of all, I ain't swimming in the damn water no way. Shit. Yep. I ain't swimming in that damn water no way, so it's bullshit. But at the same time, here we go.
Day, the Crater Health District issued a recreational swimming advisory for the Gravelly Run Creek and areas of the James River out of an abundance of caution.
The concern is skin contact and ingestion. Specifically, we get very concerned about folks who are immune compromised, as well as younger children who have a lot of hand-to-mouth activity, as well as who may ingest the water.
The city of Hopewell says the cause of the outage was faulty wiring, making equipment inoperable and causing overflow conditions. But there was no impact to residential sewer service, and drinking water remained safe. As of Saturday, July 12th, Hopewell says the treatment plant is fully operational again.
As long as the plant stays online and is functioning properly, we're looking to lift the advisory Friday afternoon. That will allow time for the influx of water from the various weather events we've had over the last couple of days and will continue to have this week to dilute the sewage that was introduced into the water.
But the advisory being lifted doesn't make the river completely safe.
We typically, outside of an event such as a sewage spill, recommend that folks avoid natural bodies of water 3 days after a heavy rainfall because of the risk of contamination. It's just not a controlled environment.
And the city says a permanent repair to the faulty wiring is scheduled for completion by Friday, July 18th. In the meantime, the swim advisory is still in effect.
Are you frustrated with skyrocketing electricity bills every month? Do the unexpected price hikes leave you feeling stuck and stressed?
Thanks for joining us for 8 News.
All right, Frank, what do you think about that sewage spill, huh? What do you think, man?
Is anybody going to be held accountable? Is anybody going to?
They said it was electrical outage and the shit went offline. When they claim, I'm like, bro, let me tell you. We got 3 cities: Hopewell, Petersburg, Colonial Heights. Colonial Heights, some people call it Colonial Whites. Hopewell, they call it Dopewell. That's what they used to call it anyway, Dopewell. And they got I think they got like 3 or 4 housing projects. Because Hopewell ain't never a small town. Hopewell ain't never 15 minutes, bro. Like 25 minutes. They call them the Tri-Cities. Matter of fact, in Petersburg, there's some flooding too. But in Petersburg, what a lot of people don't know is that they building a casino there.
Oh, sure.
So, a lot of stuff going on down there in Petersburg. They better than the new casino. That's different. But Hopewell, I gotta look at Hopewell census, man, because they do got a little theater there, but they probably 75% of Hopewell probably black, bro. I'm just telling you they would put on the census. I'm telling you, they probably is.
I'm telling you.
And guess what? I forgot to tell you, we're supposed to have flash flooding again. It's thundering outside right now. Yeah, tonight.
What was y'all? I'd look towards the lawsuit, bro, because they're playing games, man. Because they've been playing these games ever since like March, was it May or something?
And watch this.
Ever since then, huh?
And watch this. I live out here, so I'm gonna play with the residents one now. They coming to clean my gutters out on Wednesday. But here we go.
News at 11. I'm Eric Phillips.
And I'm Heather Hope. Tonight, flooding concerns are rising in Chesterfield. After several days of rain, some residents say it's not
311,
just
and they hit us with the 311, baby.
that worries them,
Hold
but
up,
also
pause it
how
for a
hard
second.
it's been to get help.
They hit you with
Fake
the
news
311.
reports
You
now.
hear that right?
Damn, man. Just like the migrants, I sent you the migrant story. They talking about 300. They arrested 300 people. As long as they keep giving you these numbers, that's they're showing each other that this shit is controlled, bro. They're showing you.
Oh yeah, hey look, man. Yeah, I'm gonna play this because I'm gonna get to this energy thing in a minute. Man, I gotta talk about these blackouts coming. Hold on, because people talking about these big ass water bills too now.
Live in the digital center with why residents are pushing for a better way to report issues. Danelle, good evening.
Eric, Heather, good evening. I spoke to a couple in Chesterfield who's been dealing with repeat flooding on their property and in their neighborhood. Now they're asking the county to create a 311 system to make reporting non-emergency issues easier for everyone.
It's going to flood. My yard is going to flood again.
This isn't the first time Cherie Shannon has seen water from a nearby creek rising into her backyard.
Oh my God.
Back in 2020,
oh my God,
this is how her yard looked after a powerful storm.
Anytime we get one of those like 3-4 day straight storms, it just rains all day, all night. That's when the water starts really rising fast.
She and her husband, Dan Klatt, say persistent rain has led to flooding, not only in their yard, but also at a bridge and on roadways in their neighborhood.
I reached out to the county in May because we also were seeing flooding at the intersections of Belmont and Turner Road, as it always floods. And I was just like, well, who do I report this to?
Shannon says after making several calls and emails, she suggested that the county implement a 311 system to streamline reports for concerns in the community. In an email response, officials thanked her for her suggestion.
It didn't feel as if they actually were taking that into consideration. I got a lot of links to a lot of different websites that still did not address our initial concern.
While Chesterfield doesn't have a 311 system, Shannon was told that concerns about drainage and road issues can be reported on the county's website at chesterfield.gov/report. Still, this couple believes a centralized 311 system would make the process faster and more accountable.
The everyday person is just like, listen, there's an issue. I need to report it to somebody. Who do I talk to about this? And 311 would just be the simplest way to make that happen.
Chesterfield's environmental engineering team says VDOT maintains a majority of the roads in the county and plans to address the improper drainage on Belmont Road. The county also encourages residents to use VDOT's 511 system to report similar concerns.
You know something else with the construction? They've been doing a lot of construction around here too, which actually they had a sinkhole on the fucking highway too one day. So yeah, a lot of bullshit like that. All right. So they need to be more honest about some of this. I mean, they just not. It's like a lot of people know. Then we had an 83-year-old man get shot. Oh yeah, right here.
And in Richmond, police called to the 2800 block of Hull Street on the city south side tonight. There to beg, he was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital for what police believe is a non-life-threatening injury.
2800 Hull Street. I grew up a block from there. I walk on the back, Malopian on the front, Hull Street on the back. They always shoot people. They shoot crackheads and shit out there all the time. That shit, I mean, yeah, man. They got a church right there where homeless people sit on the step. No bullshit. So that's the way the game go over there, man. You got to get out. Uh-oh. Here we go. This is what I meant to show you earlier, friend. Here we go.
At Zaxby's,
You're
you can
gonna
lemon
church,
pepper
huh?
any way you want. Now that's lemon pepper perfection.
Let's just say my boobs were closer to my pants
You
than my
having
chin.
Mexicans in
Most
Kentucky,
women
man?
think you need underwire to get real support.
Someone's going to have to die today. Those are the words the Kentucky church shooting suspect, Guy House, allegedly said when he stormed through the back door of a Baptist church looking for the mother of his 3 children. Now, the relatives of the 2 victims who were shot and killed are describing what happened.
I heard shots fire off. He whipped around the back of the church and went to the back ramp door, jerked it open. It was like, I'm being shot at, and came in, and he's like, where's Angel? I just want to speak to Angel. That's our sister. And we was like, Angel's not here. And my mom was like, Angel's not here. He said, well, I guess someone's going to have to die then. And shot twice. And the first time she ducked and missed, and the second time hit her in the chest. And it was just chaos from there.
Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky is on the story for us from Lexington, Kentucky. So what more are we learning about the shooting, Aaron?
Kira, I have to say, we just had a look inside the church where there is evidence of a quick exit during the gunfire. The pews are filled with hymnals, children's drawings, pillows that people were using to sit behind their back. Everything just left in the pews as people made a quick exit when the gunfire erupted. And as you heard, the family whose mother was the pastor's wife, Beverly Gum, 72 years old, who was shot and killed, she was the one that held this whole place together, they said, and they believed it targeted the family. The man, Guy House, going after the mother of his 3 children from whom he was estranged. The family told us he had a history of mental health problems, a history of drug use, had been in and out of jail, and was able to access a gun that he used to shoot a Kentucky state trooper, carjack a vehicle before coming here looking for her, and ended up opening fire.
So before the suspect went to the church.
See, this right here goes to show how stupid people are, how closed-minded people are, and how people don't catch shit. They don't catch it. You feel me? We don't see that this is the same play over and over again when it's a white suspect that shoots something else up. They never say that he was in a gang. They never say he was in a white supremacist gang. Well, they'll say that he has ties to white supremacist gang, but they'll still at the same time, he was racist, but at the same time, he did it because he was crazy. Remember, he didn't do it because he was a fucking thug. He didn't do it because he was a fucking criminal or he's evil. He did it because something was wrong with him. But yet, they don't never use that narrative when it comes to a black motherfucker. I don't really hear it used when they talk about a Latin or a Hispanic motherfucker. I don't really hear that narrative like that when they talk about them. You hear that narrative more when they talk about them than us, though. Why was it when it's a white male they use the same narrative and the same line, bro, all the time? What's up with that? See, when you know what you call that? You call that agenda, and you call that a narrative. You see what I'm saying? And what they're doing with this narrative, they're pushing an agenda on the narrative that the white motherfucker can't do no wrong, only if he's crazy or something wrong with him. You see what I'm saying? He's not naturally, remember, he's white. He's not naturally like this. You see, this is programming people's mind. Remember, white people are supposed to be good. White people are the face of pure and kind and nice. You feel me? Versus anything opposite of that is the opposite of pure and kind and nice. See, that's why they give you white and black. That's why they give you these misnomer terms. So you can hit you with a narrative and have that agenda for that narrative. You see what I'm saying? Like, damn, these motherfuckers, dude. So he has to be. So I guess you see, he can't. You see what I'm saying? Is he can never be a gangbanging ass motherfucker. He can never be a motherfucking evil piece of shit, a drug addict type motherfucker. It always has to be because something was wrong with him. And they'll say, oh, he was diagnosed with this and this and that, and he was still able to get a gun. Why, if these motherfuckers be diagnosed with shit, why do these niggas not be in mental institutions? BJ, answer me that question. Always diagnosed or always somebody always say something wrong with them. Why these motherfuckers never get the proper help, and why these motherfuckers never be in some kind of facility, bro? Always let loose on the street.
I'm about to call one of my girlfriends that work in a mental institution to answer a lot of that question. But there is a mental institution, matter of fact, not too far from where we were talking about the drainage issues, called Central State. But Central State got a lot of black people at that mental institution. So you asking where the white people at, huh? Is that what you're asking? I guess it's not important. You know, that's how they handle it. All right, next order of business.
Prices are blowing up, except on Kayak. Get you flights this summer on Kayak. Search now.
This happened in Massachusetts.
At least 9 people are dead and dozens injured after a fire at a Fall River, Massachusetts assisted living facility. Fire crews found people hanging from the building when they arrived just after 9:30 last night.
We had at least a dozen people rescued over ladders. The police department, fire department, and EMS were able to enact dozens of rescues to save multiple lives in this case. So I applaud the efforts of them, but my heart goes out to the families of those who were injured, and especially the 9 who lost their lives.
Todd Kaskiewicz from our ABC station in Boston is there. Todd, what's the latest?
Diane, local officials here in Fall River, Massachusetts confirm 9 people perished in this fire. Another person is in critical condition and more than 24 others are in the hospital. This is an independent living and an assisted living facility known as Gabriel House. Fire broke out here just before 10 o'clock last night. The fire was intense. The scene was chaotic. And police say about a dozen residents who are unable to walk were literally carried out of the building by police officers. Firefighters say that there were people literally hanging out the window screaming for help when they got here. Throughout the day, investigators have been in and out of the building working to pinpoint the origin of the fire and the cause of this fire. Diane?
All right, Todd Kaskiewicz from WCVB.
So that's your thing that happened in Massachusetts.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to the real quick. How to get your? What do you think about that mass shoot? With the white boy just shot out the mother. What do you think about that?
I said it. You hear me say it?
No, I want to go get something to eat.
I said you were saying that he was in a mental institution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody, like I told you before.
No. I said, why wasn't he?
I don't know. I said I got to call a girl I know down there at Central State.
Okay, I did do that.
Institution we got, and I said maybe she could tell. She work at a mental institution.
But you see what I'm saying? You see my narrative, BJ? Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Like, they always say the same shit. You never know, and you notice none of these motherfuckers was ever admitted to any kind of mental. If these people had problems like that, they should have been somewhere away from people, bro. And they were like, "Oh man, the person had a run-in with the FBI before. Oh, the FBI put the person on a something list." If that's the case, why is this, bro? Why is he in any kind of fucking area to where he can't grab a gun? Why is the FBI, whoever the fuck went to his house or whatever the fuck the case is, why are they not ensuring that there's no guns in the fucking house? You notice they don't never do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, this shit is fake, bro. That's like, see, people, I think sometimes, a lot of times it's psyops, right? Sometimes, and a lot of times they be real, the shooting be real. Some of the time they just there don't be no shooting, bro. That should be straight hoax, bro. You know what I'm saying? And see, this kind of shit, when I see activity like this leads me to a hoax. Because it's like, excuse me, why is it the same narrative when it's a white, for one? But I see what they're doing. They're paid, that's conditioning the masses. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody already have condition about white people anyway. When you look at the fucking fake Jesus and Santa Claus and all that bullshit, fake bullshit, you see those motherfuckers. So I get it. But at the same time, this is really doing shit to stuff like this, bro. You see what I'm saying? It's really showing me that these be straight hoax. It's like, okay, so you're basically, and then they tell you all the details and they tell you how the shit went down instead of asking and getting details from the media or from whoever. Like, how the fuck does media know all this shit? Like, they're telling fucking everybody else what the fuck the story is. Like, the media was there at first, and that make you think too something's up. Like, bro, You know what I'm saying? It's the same old story with the white boy that something was wrong with him, and the motherfuckers they knew something was wrong with him. So the nigga, why was he not admitted somewhere into a fucking place, bro? And then you see what I'm saying, BJ? If the FBI done talked to, and I'm not saying in this story, but most of these stories they'll say, oh, the FBI or the authorities. If that's the case, why didn't they ensure that this nigga either go somewhere, bro, be locked in somewhere to a facility that could meet his needs, or why don't they make sure that the place that he's in, lives in, why don't they make sure that there is no guns and there's no access to guns? They don't never do that. That lets you know something's not right. A lot of these stories, man. I'm sorry. I just can't. When you get too many unanswered questions or something that should just be cut. You know what's funny? In real cases, when it comes down to black motherfuckers, no motherfuckers be shutting closed cases because you know that it's rigged against us. When it comes down to these,
imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
Unanswered questions.
Wall Street investors.
Okay, I'm supposed to think that this is real with all these unanswered questions. Okay. There's more unanswered questions in these damn cases than the fucking Bible. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's funny.
But all these fighting, getting to the fire, all this stuff going on right now, man. You notice that they're showing, there's so much negativity. That's all the news does anyway, especially for ratings. They're showing us all this negativity, shootings, the fires, and this and that. What the fuck is really going on? And then they show you these floods and all this shit. They'll say, oh, no, it's just global warming. See, the Republicans don't want to listen to global warming. I think this shit is staged, bro. I think that this shit is hard.
Man, yo, listen. I'm about to show you it's a stage, okay? This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Okay.
Remember this, how Wall Street created an energy crisis, and they are making you pay for it. Yes, you and me.
Investors are infiltrating your home in ways you might not even realize, but are paying a huge price for.
Get ready to pay more for your electricity bills.
Energy bills are increasing along with those temps.
My electric bill,
Want to guess?
$233, $300.
is $900.
$950.
Not 90. Everybody stop paying their bills right now.
Americans' utility bills are rising at unprecedented rates because of a systemic failure.
Their primary concern is to make more money, and their only way to make more money is to take it away from people like me.
People should be angry.
To uncover how electric utilities are getting away with this, we talked to an industry insider.
People were realizing, like, hey, this is a corrupt business model. It's not bribes, but it is corruption.
And went to Montana to investigate the most powerful utility in the state.
Can we help you or something?
Hey, we're just filming.
Need to take pictures of your license plates. Also, sheriffs are on the way. This is a private facility.
What we heard was a shocking account of how these companies are gaming the system and making homes uninhabitable.
That hay's drying pretty fast.
My property boundary is here, and then obviously look north, and there you have the plant. You can feel it vibrating inside of our house.
Casey and her father Steve live in Laurel, Montana. 2 years ago, the state's largest utility began building a $320 million methane gas power plant, less than a mile from Casey's house.
This is the most populated area in the state, and yet they build a power plant right smack dab in the middle of it.
They just kind of shoved it down our throats. This area, this residential area, and claimed it was in an industrial area.
Northwestern provides power for more than 2/3 of Montanans. The company claimed this new gas plant was critical to an even cleaner energy future.
It's all bullshit. That's what it is.
Just kind of feels like local government just pushes through whatever Northwestern wants.
They're literally, it's like shooting, what's the expression? Shooting ducks in the barrel.
Mark Ellis is a financial consultant who used to work at one of the largest utilities in the U.S. He saw the corrupt business model that companies like Northwestern are using firsthand.
A lot of people don't realize that their local utility company is a for-profit company. And like any other for-profit company, their incentive is to maximize profits.
Northwestern Energy is an investor-owned utility. Its biggest shareholders are massive investment firms like BlackRock and Vanguard. Almost 2/3 of U.S. electric utilities are investor-owned. Their main goal is not to provide affordable power for the community, but to generate profit.
The utilities' profits are basically a fixed percentage on the amount of capital they invest in infrastructure, power plants, pipelines, distribution systems.
The more expensive a project, the more money investors get out of that fixed profit percentage.
So if their profit is based on how much they invest, and like every other investor-owned company, they want to maximize profits, how do they do that? By maximizing the amount of capital they invest.
Yellowstone County Generating Station is a 175 megawatt gas plant, and it is the most expensive type of gas plant you can build today. But the utility wanted to build that because, in my mind, it's expensive, and that earns it a higher amount of money for its shareholders over time.
But unlike the profits of other companies, utilities' profits are set by government regulators.
So in principle, the regulator's job is to balance the consumer and the investor interest, right? Based on my work and the observations of many others, regulators are not doing their job when it comes to balancing those interests with respect to setting the appropriate level of utility profits.
Northwestern is currently asking Montana's regulators, the Public Service Commission or PSC, to approve a 9.6% profit on its investments, which now include the costly Yellowstone gas plant.
Northwestern is back in the rate case right now, arguing that all of the costs for this plant were justified.
We understand that increases in utility bills are difficult, especially when families are already managing rising costs in other areas. This is why we've worked hard to keep the impact as low as possible while still making critical investments needed to keep the lights on and the heat flowing.
Northwestern wants to acquire the most expensive resources that it can get away with in order to earn a greater return for its shareholders. And it wants to convince the Utility Commission to charge customers for those at a really sweet return on equity.
Regulators are supposed to grant profits that are fair and reasonable in order to avoid driving up costs for consumers that utilities serve. But the financial evidence is that these profits, or what's called the cost of capital, should be much lower.
There are models that have been used for decades, not just in utilities, but all over finance to estimate the cost of capital for any business. So you can run those models, and if you run them correctly, you come in around 5.5% to 6%.
But utilities are repeatedly granted profits of around 9 to 10%.
Customers pay both for the investments and they pay for the excess profits. So the excess profits alone are $50 billion a year nationwide. So it works out to about $300 a household. So it's real money.
Your families and your communities. Thank you very much for being here. We are here today because we are fed up. We are here because Northwest Energy is out of control. How many of you have felt the squeeze of your wallets lately? How many of you are tired of seeing your hard-earned money disappear into the wallets of a greedy monopoly?
In addition to approving Northwestern's profit, the PSC approves the rates the utility can charge its customers. 2 years ago, the PSC approved a 28% rate hike. And now Northwestern is back, asking for another 20% increase.
I see people trying to work longer hours, sometimes 6 days a week, 8 to 12-hour days, or juggling different, several jobs. I see people turning off their lights. I see people in mobile home parks where there's not good insulation being cold during the winter because they don't want to use more gas.
My 20,000 constituents certainly can't afford a senseless increase in energy costs simply to pay for the Laurel natural gas generating fossil fuel plant.
Since 2020, the last time I looked at the data, publicly owned utilities.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix.
I'm allowing the plants to build their own electric. I'm allowing them to become an electric utility so they can produce their own electricity, because we need double the to be successful with AI, which is the biggest thing now. We need double the electricity that we have, which is hard to believe. We need even more than that.
A stark new warning from the Energy Department. According to new projections, Americans could face up to 800 hours of blackouts per year by 2030. That's more than a month without power, and it's raising some questions about the reliability of our electric grid. I say that this is not going to happen because we are a fantastic country that will meet the electricity demands. We have taken $500 billion out of subsidies, the wind and solar, just alone, the green subsidies, and we will build enough power generation, convert old coal to nat gas. We're on a roll, baby. We're going to power the future.
Preach it. I believe it. I actually work for an energy company now because I believe there's a new renaissance of not the energy transition. It's an energy addition. So Energy Secretary Chris Wright was talking about that. And we have a case study, what happens if we continue this green new scam. It's Texas. When Rick Perry was there as governor, he laid the groundwork to change their grid to be over 40% renewables generation based. We saw what's happened there with natural disasters because of that. If you look at the entire U.S. grid, 17%, a record, 17% of generation came from renewable last year. It's not stable. It's not base load. It's not saying that you don't have to be pro fossil fuels and anti solar and wind. You can be pro everything, but the economics have to work. To your point, don't subsidize something that's going to actually end up costing taxpayers and consumers more money, which was the point that Chris Wright said.
Well, the thing you said, so this report that came out from the DOE said you got 104 gigawatts of power generation that's going to be retired. Good news is there's 209 coming online. Bad news is 10% of that, just 10% of it is baseload.
Yeah.
So you can't take 104 off and put 22 of baseload on and think that you're going to meet our needs. So I agree. I think we're going to make it, Dagan, but we've got to shift. We can't be building all this stuff that doesn't work when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine. You got to have stuff that works when it's bad weather and nothing's happening except for coal burning or nuclear firing or even natural gas burning.
Yeah, because I don't think natural gas is considered base load. It's only coal and nuclear.
Better.
Now new at 5:30, a power struggle of sorts as Dominion Energy went before the State Corporation Commission today. This comes after yesterday's rally for refunds.
The question on the table here, just how much profit can Dominion shareholders get? The commission released a report showing Dominion Energy made nearly $380 million in extra profits between 2017 and 2018. Capitol Bureau reporter Sarah McCluskey explains how this could all affect your bill.
Virginia's largest utility company is essentially asking the State Corporation Commission, the group that regulates it, if the company can make more money. There was some debate in the courtroom about whether or not how much investors earn really affects customers.
It directly affects the people of Virginia.
Virginians took this stand to tell the State Corporation Commission why they're against Dominion Energy raising rates for how much they make. Many were concerned about bills already being high.
Senior who is just on a fixed income, or whether it's somebody who's struggling with 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. So we see that will be that much harder.
Right now, Dominion Energy shareholders earn about 9.2% from profits. The company wants to bump up the rate of earnings to 10.75%. Since 2011, how much Dominion Energy can earn has gone down.
VEPCO's reduction has been 2.5 times the national average.
An unlikely group including Walmart, the U.S. Navy, Virginia Poverty Law Center, and counsel from the Attorney General's office has come together as a result. The general feeling among them, there's no need for Dominion to make more money. They argue increasing the percentage earned from profits to 10.75 would be the second highest increase in the country over the last few years.
Therefore, this return could determine whether and to what extent customers are entitled to refunds for Dominion's past over earnings.
Right now, how much you pay for electricity is not changing. Dominion Energy officials say customers could see a few cents to $1 tacked onto their bills for capital investment projects like building more renewable energy resources.
There will be a 6 cents per month change in the typical residential customer's bill, which is currently around $115.
The State Corporation Commission now has to weigh the interests of customers and investors. We won't hear a final decision for a few weeks.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Very fun.
Popeyes is getting saucy.
Their golden years are gone. With rising rent and inflation, more senior citizens here in Central Florida say they are struggling just to keep a roof over their heads.
And as West 2's David Jones tells us, the sun is setting for some Florida retirees.
None of us worked our entire life just to be forced out onto the streets and be homeless.
In a state known for beaches and leisure, experts say there's a darker side.
My back finally gave out on me after abusing it all my life.
This man moved to Florida 7 years ago.
I didn't like leaving all my family and friends behind, but I had to take care of myself.
Retirement took him to Lake Griffin Isles, a 55-plus community in Fruitland Park, sold in 2022 to Arizona-based Legacy Communities.
The lot rent went up from $263 a month to $600 in 3 years.
For you?
Yes, for me.
He's been living on Social Security and his income through a part-time job.
When I took the job originally down here, I did it for something to do, to be helpful. That's really what I did it for. It wasn't about the money. Well, now it's about the money.
He says without new amenities, lot rent still increases. And now he worries about becoming homeless.
I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm being totally honest. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do just to survive, just to keep a roof over my head.
Seniors, their income is flat, and it's usually staying flat.
Martha R. is with the Homeless Services Network, an organization connecting homeless groups in Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties. She says elderly homelessness is on the rise.
There's some national estimates that say that the numbers could increase as much over a 15-year period, that the number of seniors could triple.
Rents in the Orlando metro area, consisting of Orange, Osceola, Seminole, and Lake counties, averaged $1,553 in April, according to ApartmentList.com, around a 40% increase since 2017. Rents average $1,418 in the Deltona, Daytona, Ormond metro area. 4 years ago, the average was a little more than $1,100 and $994 in 2017.
If you have a fixed income, you don't have a way to make up the difference between what you've been paying and what's being asked now.
I had a chair and a little folding table over here.
Sue Bennett went from living in an RV to a new apartment in New Smyrna Beach.
I never dreamed I'd get in here.
Green Lawn Manor opened last year, 80 affordable housing units specifically for seniors, operated by the New Smyrna Beach Housing Authority.
I just sit here and look. I've got a roof over my head. I got food in that refrigerator. And I'm in a place I feel safe.
I would say probably half of my wait list are seniors.
Teresa Pope runs the authority, and the wait list of around 350 people across the financial spectrum in need of affordable housing here, including seniors.
We've had some in RVs, some in motels, And we have some that are, a lot of them are living with their family. Right now, we have 3 to 4 generations living together to be able to survive.
Pope and other experts agree there's only one way to solve this growing crisis.
There's always going to be a need for affordable housing.
David Jones, West 2 News.
The president of Legacy Communities, the owner of the mobile home park, responded to our inquiries. He says Legacy's goal is to keep residents in their homes and blamed in part rising insurance, interest rates, and property taxes for the increases.
Let's just say my boobs were closer to my pants than my chin. Most women think you need underwire to get real support. But here,
yeah, it's kind of crazy when you really think about it.
But see, we don't have sympathy. Americans don't have sympathy like that. That type of shit. America don't have sympathy for that, bro. America has sympathy for illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? America has sympathy for which I don't think all of them should be deported myself, but at the same time, all the motherfuckers that don't like black people, they should be deported. All the motherfuckers that practice racism, discrimination, all of them should be deported. All the motherfuckers that be sending their money back to their countries and shit, and we'll deport them. But that's off topic, but a little bit. But I'm saying my thing is, what about it's not? What about? And then it's crazy because Karen Bass just gave money. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers get their money out of nowhere when it comes out of other races. She just allocated some money for these illegal immigrants out here. So the thing is, it's like it really is rubbing in Americans' faces. You see what I'm saying? It's rubbing it in our faces. It's basically giving them a scapegoat, and it's basically showing us it's basically putting a middle finger to American people. You know what I'm saying? And you have all types of funds and money allocated and donors and all this shit set aside for all these immigrants, but actual American senior citizens, you see what I'm saying, that paved the way for these generations coming. You know what I'm saying? And even my generation, they got to suffer. That's messed up, man. But see, that's why I've been telling. It's not this. None of this shit is about America, dude. None of this is about America, man. This shit, this is foreign. This government is foreign based. They're foreigners themselves. This whole system was made of immigrant base.
Well, this is about this one was in Baltimore. 25 people taken to the hospital after overdoses. Crazy shit.
At least 25 people are hospitalized after overdosing in what city officials call a mass casualty event in the Penn North neighborhood in West Baltimore. At least 5 people are in critical condition.
Tonight, we are hearing from residents who say that drug use has gone unchecked in this neighborhood and across the city for far too long.
It's saddening, but the thing is, you know what? It happens every day. We're just seeing it because everyone's out here.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Maxine Stryker.
And I'm Kai Jackson. Let's go right to Fox 45's Keith Daniels, who's live outside of the University of Maryland Medical Center with more. Keith, what can you tell us?
Well, Kai, we've confirmed that some of those overdose victims were brought here to the hospital. Their conditions unknown at this hour, and some of them may have already been released as police tonight investigate exactly what happened.
As it all unfolded near the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue, those fed up with the drug use and those who admit using drugs say there's no shock that it happened.
It's not surprising to me, and it hurts me because it could be me. It could have been me. 15 minutes early, it could have been me. But it's saddening. But the thing is, you know what? It happens every day. We're just seeing it because everyone's out here.
More than a dozen medic units, numerous EMS officers, and members of the Baltimore Police Department flooded the Penn North area in West Baltimore early Thursday. A huge response after the report of a single overdose led to the discovery of at least 14 more people showing signs of a drug overdose. Investigators say 5 of them critical and clinging to life. casualties of a drug they took.
Don't know what the drug of choice was, and I can't confirm anything at this point. Obviously we would need analysis, right? But right now we just don't have that information.
What happened at Penn North, a grim reminder of a recent dubious designation bestowed on Baltimore. In a report from the New York Times in May last year, Baltimore was dubbed the, quote, U.S. overdose capital, with nearly 6,000 deaths over the last 6 years. The Times analysis showed from 2018 to 2022, the death rate was nearly double that of any other large city. Those at Penn North Thursday,
this is a war zone,
calling it an open drug market where sales go unnoticed and drug use unchecked. Ignored, they say, by city leaders.
These people sit here, police sit here 24/7 every day and don't do just watch it. And all these got blacks, whites, Chinese, everybody. They don't care.
Police say they're now launching a criminal investigation into this mass overdose, searching for clues and suspects.
We're treating the scene as an active crime scene. We're utilizing our investigators as well as every crime camera we may have in the area. We're speaking with not only multiple witnesses, but also some of the victims at this time.
It's very sad. I'm telling you, it's sad. I don't know what we're going to do about this.
Where city health officials and the mayor's office of overdose response responded. They also responded to this event. They distributed Narcan and test strips to people in the area. They also gave them a warning, telling them they simply don't know what's in the drug supply in that area.
Everyone's talking about the pink salt trick. That
Why would they say that? Wait, pause it.
But does it actually work? What
does that mean? They don't know what's in the drug supply?
After last week,
did they know what was in the drug supply before? Trying to tell on themselves, right?
You're right.
Why would you say? Who said? Yeah, dude, yo, check this out. These motherfuckers is full of shit, man. Exactly, it's probably their drug. For one, what? So they're talking about heroin, probably, right? Or fentanyl. That's what they're talking about. What are these people? Why do they keep saying drug? What kind of fucking drug are they talking about? Did you notice how they kept saying drugs? They didn't say the specific drug. So my thing is, how is the people supposed to come to the conclusion hearing these stories when they're not giving no detail? Oh, drugs, the drugs. Oh yeah, the drugs. So okay, I'm asking questions. What the fuck were they using? Was it heroin, fentanyl, whatever the fuck, blues, whatever that bullshit, the other bullshit they be doing? What made these people overdose? What did they overdose for? See, that's how you know these people. This is all about propaganda, and it's not about solutions with the news. It's not about really giving you, you know what I'm saying, an unbiased outlook and an unbiased story with integrity. It's not about none of that with the news. It's just about telling their, you know what I'm saying, telling and pushing their whatever propaganda narrative that they want to push at that time, and just basically just getting you. That way they could they can mess with your popular opinion. You know what I'm saying? Your popular opinion. Boom. That's basically how that works. You know what I'm saying? Just like when these celebrities go on trial, they already, you know what I'm saying? They already got you in the court of popular public opinion anyway. You see what I'm saying? So you damn near already guilty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I want to know. I need some details, because that's when you don't have details, you get to gossiping and talking and thinking you know something, and I don't want to do all that. You know what I'm saying? For me to come with a just and certain conclusion, I got to know what I'm dealing with. Was it heroin? Was it fentanyl, blues? What did these people overdosing on? That's just the lack. You see what I'm saying, B? So I'm talking about the lack of what's the name that they're giving you, details that they're giving you.
Right. All right, let me keep this going.
Massive overdose
and how that directed more than 24 people. The mayor's office reports that they are aware of at least 8 of that group who sought treatment since the event. But on the ground, clinics say they haven't seen much of an uptick. WMAR 2 News' Blair Sable explains why even after an incident like this, it may not quite be a wake-up call for everyone.
Unfortunately, a majority of the people who use drugs in Baltimore report witnessing overdoses. And so they may not have viewed that as sort of a shocking moment or something where they sort of needed to be scared straight into drug treatment, because it is increasingly common for folks.
On Thursday, a stark reminder the opioid crisis is still ongoing in Baltimore. 27 sickened by an unknown drug believed to have possibly originated from free tester drugs handed out on the street.
I've never seen nothing like this in my 27 years of recovery and doing this business.
On Monday morning, advocates like Bernard Nelson with the Penn North Wellness and Recovery Center were back out on the sidewalk serving their community, a line forming for food and harm reduction products on Pennsylvania Avenue. But the interest in longer-term recovery programs, even after such a shocking event, Nelson says they've only seen maybe 1 or 2.
Some people, they be fighting the process. For one, they being traumatized while they out here on earth. And traumatized, it comes, you know, a lot with a whole lot of people. You never know what they are being traumatized by.
There also may be people thinking, I tried it once and it didn't work for me, so why would I try it again? Or I'm just tired of trying it and it's not working.
Catherine Tomko, an assistant scientist with the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health who studies substance use, mental health, and marginalized populations, says there are several obstacles for those who may be experiencing addiction and seeking treatment. Some clinics in the area were also closed or had limited services over the weekend. She says in addition to the harm reduction strategies, the focus also needs to be on increasing low barrier access to treatment, which is part of the city's overdose strategic plan.
You cannot force someone into treatment when they aren't ready. You have to be there to make sure that they are able to do that. And the first and most important thing that you have to be in order to get treatment is be alive.
Nelson says when someone is ready, they will be too.
We have struggled, but we keep going. You know, we keep going because we Penn North strong.
Baltimore police continue to investigate the culprit behind the mass overdose. In Penn North, Blair Sable, WMAR 2 News.
Yep.
Everything is mutating like this damn virus, right? Just like they talking about, oh, it came from other drugs that were given out for free. Like they're basically telling
Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Experimenting on the people.
However you book your hotel, first check Kayak to see what lots of people say about where you're planning to stay. Then do what people do. Recheck sites Kayak already checked. Beach.
One person is
You know what I'm
dead
saying?
in North.
They said that they were. Who was the drugs given away to? I mean, from who was passing? They said. Remember, they said it was. You know what I'm saying? Could be some shit from something that came from some drugs that were handed out for free. Like these motherfuckers, they giving the immigrants free motherfucking welfare and free motherfucking money. They giving the motherfucking homeless motherfuckers free drugs. Like, damn, everybody getting something but niggas. Shit. Everybody getting something from us. Even the homeless motherfuckers getting free drugs. Shit. That goes 90% of their money. Shit. I mean, that's not funny. But I'm just saying, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody really getting something for free right now but us. But now that's that for them to really be handing out drugs like that, that says, what does that tell you? Why the government? So you can't say that's a conspiracy theory that I said that the government brings the drug. You can't say that that's a conspiracy theory because they're telling you and showing you. Remember Biden, when Biden was in there, they was handing out the syringes and the needles and all that shit to make sure it was clean and all this shit to combat dirty needles. Remember that shit? BJ?
Yeah.
Remember when Biden was in office, they was giving the needles and all that shit, and the syringes and all that shit to the homeless people. Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, these people. That's why I don't think, when it comes out of the government, man, that word conspiracy theories, that shit is null and void, bro. when you talk about government and conspiracy, that goes hand in hand.
Yep. So, yep. Let me play this right quick. This is about the plague.
Northern Arizona after contracting a lung infection so rare it hasn't happened in the area in nearly 20 years.
12 News journalist Sean Rice is here. And Sean, what is the health department telling the community?
Well, I got to say, you hear the plague, which is what this called. You can't help but you think the worst, but I've learned so much about this today, and it's not as bad as it sounds. So health officials in Coconino County say that a person died yesterday after contracting what's called the pneumonic plague. It is an infection in the lungs that is so rare, nobody in that county has passed from it since 2007. Now, as I mentioned, it does sound scary, but I spoke with 3 medical experts today from all across the state, and they say human to human spread is pretty unlikely.
You might see pneumonic plague 0 times or at the most 1 time in your career, even if you work up in Coconino County.
A once-in-a-lifetime diagnosis for one Arizona resident. Health officials say this person died at the Flagstaff Medical Center Thursday on the same day they sought care.
If I were to speculate that this individual had some sort of exposure to an infected animal that already had it in its lungs, and then it was transmitted from an infected animal.
Dave Wagner studies these kinds of infections at Northern Arizona University. He says the plague is often linked to rodents like prairie dogs, whose colonies can have case after case of the plague. They may then pass it on to a house pet or wild animal. That animal is then usually the link to an infection in humans.
You can see the train of transmission being from the prairie dog to the flea to the dog or cat into the house. The flea bites the human gets bubonic plague.
That kind of plague, bubonic, is noticeable on the skin, causing significant swelling, often black in color.
This hits the ground running, and it's really, really quick, really, really severe. It's extremely hard to diagnose.
And though prairie dogs have been dying in recent months in the Flagstaff area, health officials do not believe this human case is related. Frank Lavecchio, medical director at Arizona State University, says pneumonic plague can often be harder to treat. It even may mask itself as a regular pneumonia case when someone enters a hospital seeking care.
The unfortunate thing is, though, if it does make it to your lungs, it's pretty hard to treat. When you have pneumonic plague, the chances of you dying from it are relatively high, unfortunately.
The plague death in Flagstaff is likely not a major cause for concern. That sentiment echoed by all 3 experts.
I always tell people, worry more about putting on your seatbelt than you should worry about plague.
And if you are up north this summer, experts tell me that's typically where it happens, above 5,000 feet. Health experts say to avoid contact with wild animals, especially those prairie dog colonies where the plague can manifest itself quite quickly. Now, if you do come down with pneumonia-like symptoms, the experts also urge you to seek care early, as that's when these antibiotics can be most effective in treating the plague. Mark.
Sean, thanks.
All right. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's thundering like hell outside now. And, like I told you, man, we getting thunder and flooding every night. So that's why I came on earlier, because I said I'm going to try to, get off here and look quick. Well, not too quick, but quicker, because, I don't, like I said, with all this thunder and flooding, I don't know if it's power out and stuff. I told you the last couple of days been real close to the house, less than 5 minutes. So, gotta make sure everything's straight, because I've been out all day. I ain't need job my device and things like that. But yeah, like I said, you just gotta be careful. Now they talking about oh yeah, it's lightning, thunder, and burn. The other day, trees falling. Matter of fact, now they talking about volcanoes are starting to come across America and stuff. I'm thinking, what are damn volcanoes at? Volcanoes are rumbling to life across multiple states in Alaska to Oregon. Mount Rainier, they having a volcano in Washington State, and among other things. Got a little surprise before I leave, though, Frank. Let me go get it right quick. But you can talk, because I know you got something to say about this bubonic plague and stuff.
Where's
Well, the plague, not bubonic, the plague they talking about.
I don't know, man. A lot of this shit be some bullshit, bro. A lot of this shit just be straight up. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of this shit just be staged, man. Like all of a sudden, all this shit coming out, and all of a sudden, this shit just coming out of nowhere and all that. And then this play, it's just it's fear. It's fear, man. It's fear. It's fear. It's fear. It's just to scare you. You know what I'm saying? It's fear. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And you cut, man. You gotta really be listening, man. You gotta really be mindful, man, and use the discernment. You know what I'm saying, at all costs. Because you notice that's why they hit you with all negative content, man, and all negative stories to keep you in a constant state of fear. You know? But then like, oh man, what they say? They was like, what did they say about the play? They said, you shouldn't be worried because it's not gonna be transferred. You know what I'm saying? Transmitted amongst people. But it's just like, why don't you report? Hey, this people are getting this plague, and this is how it's getting boom. This is how it's getting transmitted through animals, wherever the fuck or whatever the fuck the end. Why do you? I don't know, man. It's just to scare you, man. Keep you scared.
I got a little surprise before I leave. I don't know if you can see this. So today, hold on, let me put this up. So maybe my mom would have been 68 years old. Right? She's been 68. She born July 14, 1987, me July 16, 1987. There's her right there in the middle in the green. I think I do the Chuck E. Cheese, right? Right? It's in the green right there. The one standing over the top. Might be a little blurry on here, but
my condolences, man. Again, man.
And who you think that is?
Yeah, I can see. Look at this.
Huh?
You, man.
Huh?
You funny, man.
That is some funny shit, right?
You said was that Chuck E. Cheese or what?
I think it was Chuck E. Cheese. I think my aunt used to think of Chuck E. Cheese all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Then hold on. I'm trying to find another one. Shoot. There you go. That's me on the floor. I gotta find another picture. Hey, that's when Mama was a baby. Yeah, more, but I can't find them all right now. I'll find them another day. But yeah.
Yeah, happy heavenly birthday to your mom, man. That's bad, man. Like, you keeping her memory alive, man. And good,
See, well, it's like this. Let me say this. So, because let's put it this way. So we were like, my mom and dad like April of 2018. My buddy was like, he's like, what you gonna do now, man? He was like, how you gonna get over this? And I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna make a lot of moves and travel, and I'm gonna help a lot of people help me out. And he was like, why you can do that? He said, that's like this DJing thing. I've been around these guys a lot, but I never, just took it up. He's like, you don't have any equipment. I said, I can get that. That's no problem. I said, I'll get it. And I said, matter of fact, the first time I do something to show you how far I came, I'm gonna do a free show at your house. He's like, all right. He says, bet. By like May or June of 2018, Went to his house. He said, "Damn." I said, "Yeah, I'm just practicing. Right? I ain't got no 200 songs, so I started off. I was okay, but I just went with a few songs, and then I just kept on growing and growing and growing, and then next thing you know, I got like 2,000 plus songs, X, Y, Z, right? And very rarely, to be honest with you, I mean, people know my mom. Somebody might mention it, but for the most part, they don't bring it up. They don't know how to take it, or they don't want to bring it up, I guess. I mean, me personally, I don't really worry about it because that's why I keep busy, and that's why I be on the move so much. Because when you're moving, you like that, it's kind of like, like you can bring the baseline down, and you don't have to dwell on things that would bother most people. But if you know how to act in mind, it won't bother you as much. Like I might mention today, I might mention on April 4th, but for the most part, I ain't mentioning it because I got enough things to occupy me in that regard. But sometimes your great aunt will call you and stuff like that. And she's 97 years old. She still live. My other one's 87 or 88. Still living. Uncle's about 80. And but I was her only child. I'm one of the only child. And I got sister and brother, but they're in their 60s. Well, my sister will be 60s. In matter of fact, 8 days. So I had to take that on the chin. But you take it on the chin and you live with it. So let me say this in closing, and I actually mean this. I don't really talk about that much, but somebody called me today this morning, and they said, "Dang, we wish Bernadette was still around." And I said, "Why you say that?" Because I wish she knew all that stuff you did. I said, "No. On the flip side, it might be better. She didn't, because she was already stressed about it. She didn't like me going around traveling to all these places and things like that. It would worry her. And she I'm kind of like a renegade type of person. So, I told her it'd be better if she didn't have to live through the COVID psyop and all that stuff. So I said, sometimes things are just better the way they are. I know that might sound crazy, but sometimes things are better the way they are. It is what it is. So, I actually, you can go to your buddy's house and your friend's house, and I look at it in a context, and I say, they be the mom be laughing, joking, and I don't have that luxury anymore, but it's fine. A lot of people took me in and say, "Hey, come hang with us anytime," and so I kind of always had to, I would say, for the most part, look out for a lot of them. Just like in North Carolina yesterday, a lot of people knew me when I was a kid, knew me from high school. They say, "Hey, man, hey, dog, I need you." I was like, "Can you DJ my wife graduation party?" I we grew up together. It's no problem. It is what it is. They're like, "Dang, Bernard, you all the way out here?" And they said, "Don't worry, man. We shy, Bernard. You be everywhere." So, but I have to thank them, right, for, actually always looking out for me, even when I go on these missions out places, just getting knowledge or whatever. They find out I'm in another place, and I don't tell them. They'll always say, "Why you didn't tell somebody?" The only thing sometimes they say is, "Who, if you go all these places, who gonna get you?" One of them said, "Bernadette not gonna be able to save you anymore. She been gone." I told one of them, that's why if I really got in the jam, I'm gonna call you. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, like, so let me say this. Right here. I'm gonna say it right here, and I'm gonna show you a picture and then I'm out. Let me say it right here, bro. Damn. Where is the damn right now? I want this shit earlier. Oh, here it is, right here. When I look back on things, Mom, I'm glad for the vision and memories. Losing you at 60 was tough. And looking at the day, you'll be 60 years old, being occupied and being busy, gave me closure and discipline. So I thank you just the same. From July 14, 1957 to July 16, 1987, roads just grew from concrete. So being around 30 was enough for me. I meant to say 30 years, but I forgot. Man, fucked up shit. Was enough for me just to prepare for life, and I'm still running it with it. And I love you. That's all I got to say, right? So what it is. Yeah, it sucks sometimes.
No, I feel you, man.
Yeah, sometimes it does suck. Right.
Yeah, just like me and my pop, man. It's just like shit's still fresh, man. You know what I mean?
But it's all right. But go ahead and shout your information.
All right, so yeah, man. So you know what I mean? We just gotta stay mindful, man. All the stuff that they're doing, man, and vigilant, man. The stuff that they're doing is a bunch of bullshit. The thing with Karen Bass, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about, you know, they're trying to give sympathy and empathy to the illegal immigrants, and meanwhile, see, that's what that bait and switch thing, and that's that old, you know what I mean, straight up discrimination, and making you want to fight for crumbs, making you want to. That's that Houthis versus Hutus type stuff. You see what I'm saying? That Hotel Rwanda type stuff. You put one group against another group by giving another group more resources than the other group. Meanwhile, y'all both dirt poor, but you want to give the other group more resource, and try to make it seem like that's not discriminatory, or that's not right, or like that's okay. Like under the base of there being and the news media is a part of this because they're the ones that are giving you 300 migrants. That's headline. 300 migrants got arrested from these farms. But see, I thought Donald Trump was exempting the arrests in these damn farms. What's going on? This shit, a lot of this stuff is psyops, man. A lot of this stuff is some of this stuff is staged to me. You know, I thought he was going to exempt them from the travel to the hotel leisure industry down to the farms and the hospitality industry. Excuse me. What happened? So now all of a sudden they're just fucking. I mean, I don't really hear nothing, but see, I really don't hear nothing about them going into, you know, any hotels or hotels, BJ. I don't really hear them getting any of these bus drivers or any of these, you know what I'm saying? Housekeepers or, you know what I'm saying? These people that be cleaning up in these bus stations or. Why don't you hear about them going after them? But see, that's how you know the media is a part of this. They're in on it because they're giving you conflicting things. They're saying Trump and them is, of course, they're lying. Trump and them is lying, saying one thing. The Democrats lying, saying another thing, and in the news line saying another thing. I thought they was gonna exempt the ones that were in the hotel and leisure and the fucking hospitality and the farms. I thought that's what he said the other day. And so now all of a sudden you see fucking front page news. Oh, he 300, and then they hit you with the number 300 just to show you, just to code. Let's put these coded numbers and these coded words just to show the elites and the motherfuckers at the top that this is stage and this is a ritual thing. You see what I'm saying? So now we got to give sympathy and empathy for them. And guess what? Karen Bass and people, and watch. There's gonna be other states too come out with some kind of reparations or some kind of repairing for these people and giving them some kind of money. And it's funny because they need studies and all this bullshit. That's how you know that slave shit and all that was fake. But they need studies and stuff like that when it comes down to us, right? But at the same time, they write some shit and they literally pull some shit out their ass, talking about, oh, this is from donors. Oh, well, we're in a deficit, by the way. We've been saying this shit the whole time since we had the fires and since we had all this other bullshit go down. It's funny, right before the ICE raids, we talk about how poor motherfucking Los Angeles is. But then right around and right after the ICE raids, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? We got money from donors all of a sudden. These motherfuckers is full of shit, man. I mean, if we like, but see, that makes sense because as American, you're conditioned from little to fucking adult to be lied to. You know what I'm saying? You were conditioned and groomed off a white lie or off a folk tale or fairy tale, wherever the fuck they try to, you know what I'm saying? They try to gingerbread the shit out, you know what I'm saying, to make it shit sound good. I don't care what they have, a white lie, a fable, a fib, or whatever. All that shit is a goddamn lie. Don't try to sugarcoat this shit and make a lie sound good in this motherfucker. But so let me but yeah, man. So we just gotta be aware, man. This stuff is staged, man. This stuff is straight. They're telling you because they just said that they're giving these, they basically showing you just like before when Biden was in there that they're giving these homeless people drugs. So we all know where the fuck the drugs are coming from. So you mean to tell me they only have a supply for the homeless motherfuckers and they're not supplying the rest of the fucking world, United States? I don't think so. It doesn't work like that. Whoever has the resources is the government. So whoever has the resources, drug addicts and people that depend on drugs consider drugs as resources. So therefore, whoever has the power and have the resources has control of the drugs because they consider drugs a resource. So they got the drugs too. They don't just have the other resources, the electricity and all that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So, man, they're telling you this is staged. They're telling you that they're giving people drugs. They're telling you that they're giving these people migrants and they're putting these migrants, these illegal immigrants over you. That's basically blatant discrimination. So we basically all have court cases. We all could sue these people if we want to, but we're not going to come together as people because we're so divided in religion and motherfucking race and gender and all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Us black people look at them a certain way because they're put over us and shit, and they look at us a certain way because all the stupid bullshit stereotypes that they're fed from our government about us and the propaganda that they see on the news. It's funny because look, the immigrants, they're committing crimes on the news, but the news don't say they're committing crimes. Hey, the immigrants got caught committing crimes. Hey, they got caught fucking doing something illegal. They don't say that. But guess what? When it's your black butt on the news, you every statistic in the book. You see what I'm saying? And you do every crime in the book. Meanwhile, the European got the white collar and the blue collar crime on lock. You know what I'm saying? That's why they hit Puffy with that bullshit. Just to show you, this shit's not gonna be fair like that. It don't matter if you got money or not. This is cover for all the white motherfuckers that are doing this shit, and they all gonna get away with it. So we gotta make it seem like it's black people doing it, and they're the face by putting this sorry ass nigga. So look, yeah. So check me out, man. Y'all can hit me up at XX Frank Nitty XX. Man, I know I went on a rant, but pay attention to the news and they're telling you, and pay attention to the media because the media is telling you more truth than what you think they are. Meaning they're telling you and they're admitting more guilt in what they're doing to us versus, actual truth that they're putting out in these fake ass stories. So you can put it in the XX Nitty XX on Instagram and in the Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram too. So holla at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Check out.
And one more thing.
Oh yeah, man.
That's me.
Oh yeah.
Me yesterday in North Carolina. Once again, I could say I did it, but if it weren't for Bernadette Johnson, I wouldn't even be here to do it. So thanks to that. And that's a gift in itself. So take your time, bro. Have a good night. And hey, look, man, you still got more around, so I want you to keep that in mind. Take your time.
Word, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Happy birthday to your moms again, man. Salute, man.
It's all good, bro. Take your time.
All right.